Hello once again, all you lovely people out there in the land of the internet. It's me, that gaming nerd John, and we are indeed continuing through 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, making our way through the various destruction sequences. We are going to be at the halfway point here today, as we make our way through both the mid-boss wave and the sixth one. The mid-boss this time is going to introduce that last tier of enemy that I had kind of alluded to earlier. This particular pairing sucks, but we'll be able to overcome it. These EX models of the enemies, you'll see they take substantially less damage. They can do substantially more damage, as well as just having buckets of health to dump all of your moves into. They'll kind of have a little bit of an intro about them as well when they're introduced, and one of the things that I like, and it's something that's kind of continued through, is for these particular boss waves, it's just destroying that boss Kaiju. So if you have to, you can kind of cut your losses and just totally go all in on a gamble to just destroy that particular Kaiju enemy, which I think is pretty cool. It's thematic, you know, they're the biggest threat for your ability to kind of defend the terminal, so why wouldn't you go all in on just taking out the big guy? But as you'll see, it won't be necessary because our Sentinel pilots are beyond stupid strong, so hope you're looking forward to it, and let's dive right on in. Alright, so like I was just mentioning, these enhanced units are going to be showing up here. Amaguchi and Takamiya are required on the strike team, which is great. Takamiya is very potent, and Amaguchi is also pretty solid, kind of all around. So good choice of units to bring along, and I'm sure they will serve us well here. Let's see what happens.
Approaching. Preparing to intercept. Initiating tactical analysis.
Look, that's a new model of the RPF. Oh, and of course, it's friggin' gigantic. Who knows what kind of kaiju this one spits out? And there's a new model of the drum mine, too. Not sure what to expect from this one.
According to the computer's estimates, it's reinforced its shell. And the explosions will be magnitudes higher.
What happens if they rush the terminal? What the hell would we even do? If we let it through, that may be our last mistake. So that's it, huh? No more screwing around? I wanna laugh, but this ain't even funny. We have to stop it, no matter what.
Alright, here we go. So just like with so many of the other kind of boss fight maps, it's not really like a waves coming in. You're just dealing with this puzzle of here's a challenge, take care of it. Like for instance, what if there was an upgraded Apsos unit right off the bat? Just kind of took that off the field. Yeah, extreme prejudice. And we've got Blast there to kind of clear a corridor. And then I think, yeah, I was going to say we just kind of hopscotch with Hijiyama here, making his way over to a plethora of enemies. Again, forgetting that Shield Matrix exists, I just pump out some interceptors because why not? Chip damage is always good. Oddly, I picked to have Takamiya do interceptors as well there. I disagree with that. Just her leg spike is way stronger. It would have just been more effective there. Yeah, so you barely caught it, but the Apsos unit in the far side is already making my life miserable. So it just shielded and healed one of those drum mines that's rolling in. Or maybe that's a G-Molar. Hard to say. But it's making my life miserable. I hate those things. missile rain, because that'll help to kind of take care of a couple of things like those missiles. Ironically enough, coming in, it should handle those guys, but also just kind of soak up damage. Hijiyama is just going to be like, yeah, that's cool and all, but what if you just died? Yeah, Demolisher Blade. It's good. So kind of leap into action, Demolisher Blade to clean up, and now we've got Amaguchi kind of deliberating here. The missiles make it painful because those missiles, unlike pretty much anything else, will actually do a ton of damage. So it's very bad if that happens. Punching out some more turrets to kind of help soak up. Not sure if we... long range missile... yeah, nope. It's just not. It's just not long enough range to take care of that Apsos in the far side. So, yeah, sad times. And then we move in, because we need to close the distance with our Gen 3s, which are just achingly slow. However, Takamiya is not, and so here we go, starting with the leg spike bonanza. And you can see, that 20,000 damage did like maybe a fifth of its health. Maybe. Which is just crazy when you think about it, because that thing has decimated like that second tier of like RPFs and Terra carriers and high quads in the past. And it took 2 leg spikes to get it to half health. I hate it so much. Again, EMP surrounding is good. So it'll disable the Apsos, literally killing it, which is quite good for us. Now we can just continue to leg spike, chipping away at that health, because we have to. If that drum mine gets to your terminal, you will lose. Just straight up, it will do so much damage to just instantly KO it. And then the missiles that it fires are also dangerous, so we just take care of that. Saying nope, 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 nope. Continue on. Not sure... yeah, I don't think I worry about those guys off to the side. I think now is time for Demolisher Blade. And somehow the game gives me a back attack.
Confirmed termination of RPF EX Dymo signature.
So yeah, that'll take care of that. And now it's not long for this world. This drum mine is pretty much toast arenas here. We've got it on the ropes. It's really just a matter of chipping away at the rest of its health. Kind of desperate to move Shinonome in there. Yeah, leg spike, just leg spike, leg spike.
I guess life comes at you fast. Unbelievable.
No fight I can't win.
Aegis finally went through. Everyone okay? Took long enough. Can't believe we actually survived that.
Yuki-chan's okay too. Are all the fights gonna be this bad now?
We've been working pretty hard. That's worth a little time off, right? Not like anyone's going to school tomorrow anyway. And I've got just the idea for Yuki-chan. How about a day at the amusement park?
What? Just you and me going?
Hey, it's the best reward I could ask for. Could be fun, right?
Fine, dumbass. You get your one date.
Really? I wasn't actually expecting...
So, for now, go kick some ass and try not to die. Yuki-chan.
So we made it through.
So yeah, taking care of business as we do. My first time through the game, it was not nearly that simple. I got kaboomed out of existence. Amaguchi MVP, because he was able to assist us in multiple venues there. Still surprised that Hijiyama actually didn't earn it, because that 30k Demolisher Blade was pretty solid. But leaping around like he did, he wasn't able to just put out the damage that good old Amaguchi was able to with consistent leg spikes. Yeah, so next up, hordes of worker and hunters. So you can think of those as being like the super weenies. another reset. I forgot how often that happened. Ah, this game just keeps on doing it to me. So this is actually going to be funny because you're going to see how my PS4 does not like it when there are tons of enemies on the map, and I dump missile rain just everywhere. It'll be good times.
Are they here? Not yet, right?
Don't push yourself so hard. I can hold the line here, Natsuno-san. Please fall back if you need to. Natsuno-san?
You know, Miura-kun, you kinda remind me of BJ.
I do?
Weird, right? It's not like the two of you are that similar, even.
If I had to guess, it's because he felt the same way. You can withdraw, Natsuno-san. I'll stay here. As a shield.
I'm not going anywhere. Number 17's gonna win this for us. It's BJ's own Sentinel, after all.
You're right. He and that Sentinel are one and the same. And I know I can count on him to protect you.
Daimo's signature's approaching. They're coming.
Well, nothing else for it. Please, cover me.
So it's actually kind of funny that Miura's like, I've got you, Natsuno, don't worry. You can stay back. Because she is going to hard carry this mission. Missile Rain is insane. And I'm pretty sure EMP Surrounding's also going to come into play again. Like I mentioned before, it's just such a solid move that locks down enemies in tandem with just actually doing decent damage. And with the Gen 1s, their survivability is just so high, they can handle jumping into the fray like that, taking a couple hits before they're able to actually, like, burst the EMP surrounding. And if they're lucky enough to just be in position already, being able to just knock it out right from the get-go is fantastic. So we have the best interceptor factory in the game, Yakushiji. We don't have the best turret factory in the game because we have Kurabe. But he's a neat guy. Yeah, so like EMP surrounding right there just took out so many of those dudes. Not even a worry. Multi-lock missile will be pretty solid here too, because even though it's like the second tier of enemies, that upgraded tier of enemies, it's just little dudes. So it's just not enough health for them to survive. Even though the game just introduced EX enemies, thankfully this mission doesn't have any. So we don't have to worry about the fact that like EX enemies have an even substantial more health than, you know, regular enemies, let alone upgraded enemies. Like, they are damage sponges. They are the tanks of this game. Which is funny, because you can actually summon tanks. Yeah, just kind of reacting to the waves as they show up here. Keeping ready with, oh, here we go. Alright, so Missile Rain launches, and my PS4 cries. We haven't even actually had anything hit yet. And, yep. Delicious lag. Yakushiji actually using Pulse Laser here, which is a good call. Kind of cleaning up. Even though we had Missile Rain technically. Multi-lock missile here because why not just have more particle effects? And that cleaned it up. So like Missile Rain probably would have done the job perfectly fine. But it's not a bad idea, just to have that extra support. And the funny thing is, because Missile Rain was still coming down, we still took out even more waves. Like, that's mostly taken care of now. And that'll definitely shore it up. I love multi-lock missile. It just reminds me of like that Macross Robotech kind of feel. It's really cool. I love it. Missile Rain just reminds me of like DEF CON or World War games. It's like, look at all this. Look at this gorgeous destruction. Next move. Yeah. Handled easily.
Hit confirmed.
And it's really kind of a showcase of those skills because, especially in like Area 2 when they introduce them for that upgraded tier, you're like, oh, I don't want to use these abilities because they're not armor piercing. And it's like, yes, smart on you, but don't forget, there are weaker tiers of enemies. Like, even if they're upgraded, they still don't have that much health. And once you've started upgrading your own units, it's fine to still use those moves. So understanding kind of that damage range and the capabilities of your units is important. And there's that anti-ground hunter missile, because screw that RPF. Yeah, taken out in basically one shot. And here we go with Hijiyama kind of deliberating. It's like looking around, there's a lot of options here, so trying to get him back into play. The only bad part about the Gen 1s is they're kind of slow, not as slow as like a Gen 3, but they're kind of slow and they have to go on the roads. And without a target to leap attack to, their mobility is actually pretty limited. Missile rain, because why not? There's like not enough enemies to justify it just yet. Maybe in like 2 seconds, but not just yet. Yeah, it's a little early for a missile rain. There we go. Now would be a good time. Yeah, because I love punishing my poor little PlayStation 4. It's not even a PlayStation 4 Pro, it's just OG PlayStation 4 crunching all those particle effects. Sweet, sweet summer child. Not quite sure why I did the anti-ground when there's still air units, but I guess I was like, oh, there's interceptors. Why not make some more of them? Why not? Missile rain still coming down, so it takes out that wave as they come in. As they come in, they're basically obliterated. Just taken care of. Take out the kill. Another wave of them comes in, another wave of them gone. And then we've got Hijiyama, EMP, takes out a vast majority of that wave. So it's just further showcasing these area of effect abilities and just how well they can lock down these like weaker enemy types. Because if this was, you know, like waves of the Terra Carriers or waves of RPFs, you couldn't do that. You would have to utilize something like Leg Spike or Plasma Fusion Cutter or, you know, like Super Large Missile. You would have to use those more potent abilities. You wouldn't be able to use something like these area of effect attacks that just hit like a ton of times versus hitting like a ton at once. Miura busting out with his own missile rain because he's a cool guy too. That'll take care of that side. One of the few times where we actually will see like a dangerous unit, so like that Terra Carrier. EMP surrounding took out its friends. Now it's all by itself. Got a couple of twin tails with some Jamolers. So they're still in range of missile rain, but I guess I decided not to take any chances. And then more than likely, yeah, I was gonna say. Wait, what? Oh, okay, cool. I guess I just deliberated.
Termination of enemy signals confirmed. Aegis activated. Terminal closure complete. Surrounding 2-kilometer area now fully secure. Ending tactical analysis.
Now we just gotta slam the Aegis down on the others, right?
Unfortunately, it's not so simple. If we activate Aegis on all the terminals, time as we know it will stop in this world.
We'll stop time? You gotta be shitting me!
Our link to universal control would be completely cut off. Everyone but us will disappear. They'll never come back. And that's not all. We'd be completely isolated. Trapped in a dead world. Just us and the ruined city. Until the day we die.
So this Aegis isn't gonna save our asses after all.
So that's Operation Aegis. Even then, I guess she thought it'd be better than being annihilated.
If Morimura believed the Sentinel project was a lost
So, important little plot tidbit there that they talk about. The fact that the Aegis terminals and locking them down isn't going to be what saves them. And wow, what do you know? Minami, MVP, shocking, nobody. 3,811 consecutive hits. Anyway, so like they were talking about the terminals, if they actually do lock them all out, then Universal Control loses the link and time stops. So basically, by time stopping, they're actually more so talking about the fact that Universal Control would no longer be able to exert any kind of influence on that world, so that it wouldn't be able to alter things, it wouldn't be able to change things. And as they've already talked about, like, nanomachines exist in this particular universe, so like the nanomachines wouldn't be able to alter anything, it would be stuck. The Sentinel pilots would be abandoned with nobody alive to interact with, because all of them have been removed by Universal Control. And if Universal Control loses that link to that world, it can't interact with it anymore. And so now it's one of those situations where they realize, hey, locking out all the terminals isn't a path to success. We've just been making it so that we don't lose, and we buy enough time for us to basically alter Universal Control so that we can have access over Universal Control, so that we can have access to basically stopping the Kaiju threat as a whole. And so it's really neat to see how, even in what would be considered a more action-oriented portion of the game, there are still very important pieces of lore for the player as a whole. And that's one of the things I really liked about 13 Sentinels, is how even with all of this, you know, really fun, relatively light strategy portions of the game, you're still able to invest the player in the game as a whole. Those parts are talking to each other. The destruction sequence has lore that feeds into the remembrance portions of the game as well. And that's something that I really appreciated, just in general. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for these particular waves here. Next time we're going to be continuing along the destruction area, portion number 3. So look forward to that. We've only got 4 left. We're past the halfway point here, which is fantastic. And if you think that this has been fantastic, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, because that's how you tell YouTube that you would love to know the next time that all of this continues. Thanks. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed so far, and I hope you're looking forward to the future content coming out down the pipeline. And as always, take it easy.